I was sitting in my car when the text came through. 5 words from my sister Lily that made my stomach drop. She is not welcome anymore. I stared at those words, my hands gripping the steering wheel, trying to process what I was reading. She meant Sarah, my wife. The woman who had spent 6 months planning every detail of Lily's wedding. 3 days. That is all we had left before the ceremony, and somehow everything had fallen apart. I kept asking myself the same question over and over. What happened between the 2 women I loved most in this world? Before I tell you how this all unraveled, drop a comment and let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already, because what happened next changed everything. I thought I knew about love and loyalty. Now let me take you back to where it started. Growing up, Lily and I were inseparable. She was 3 years younger, and from the time she could walk, she followed me everywhere. I was the protective big brother. She was the shy little girl who hid behind my leg when strangers talked to her. Our parents used to joke that I was her personal bodyguard. When she got older, things did not change much. I was there for her first heartbreak, her college graduation, every milestone that mattered. So when Lily called me 2 years ago, breathless and excited, telling me Marcus had proposed, I felt this surge of pride. Marcus was a software engineer, quiet and thoughtful, the kind of guy who opened doors and remembered everyone's coffee order. He fit into our family like he had always been there. Dad liked him because they could talk about baseball for hours. Mom liked him because he actually listened when she talked. I liked him because he made my sister laugh in a way I had never seen before. The engagement party was at our parents' house. Nothing fancy, just close friends and family in the backyard. I remember standing there with a beer in my hand, watching Lily show off her ring to a group of cousins, and feeling genuinely happy. Sarah squeezed my hand. "You know she is going to need help planning all this," she said. "I can do it. It is what I do." Sarah was an event planner for a big firm downtown. She had been doing it for 5 years, coordinating corporate galas and charity fundraisers, the kind of events where everything had to be flawless. When she offered to help Lily, it seemed like the perfect solution. Lily worked full-time as a graphic designer. Her schedule was packed, and wedding planning felt overwhelming to her. I could see the relief on her face when Sarah made the offer. "Let me handle this," Sarah said, pulling Lily into a hug. "You are family. I will make your day perfect." Lily looked like she might cry from gratitude. "Are you sure that is so much work?" "I want to do this," Sarah insisted. "It will be fun." Mom and Dad were thrilled. They trusted Sarah completely. "She is so organized," Mom said to me later that night, as we cleaned up paper plates and empty bottles. "Lily is in good hands." I felt proud watching my wife and my sister hug, imagining them bonding over flower arrangements and color schemes. I thought this would bring them closer. I thought I was watching the beginning of something beautiful. The first few months seemed to prove me right. Sarah threw herself into the planning with the kind of intensity she brought to all her projects. She created spreadsheets, color-coded calendars, vendor lists, organized by category and price point. She came home every night with her laptop open, sending emails to florists and caterers, comparing quotes, scheduling site visits. Our dining room table became wedding planning headquarters, covered in fabric samples and invitation mock-ups. Lily seemed excited at first. She came over twice a week for planning sessions, and I would hear them in the dining room talking about napkin folds and centerpiece heights. Sarah would show Lily options: 3 different invitation designs, 4 different flower arrangements, and Lily would nod along, offering opinions here and there. But somewhere around month 3, I noticed Lily's visits getting shorter. She would stop by, look at whatever Sarah had prepared, agree to most of it, then leave within an hour. Sarah did not seem bothered. "She is busy with work," she would tell me. "It is easier if I just handle the details." I did not think much of it. Sarah knew what she was doing. This was her job. Then came the dinner at our parents' house. It was a Sunday in late spring, and we were all gathered around the table when Lily brought up the color scheme. I was thinking maybe we could shift from blush pink to something more neutral, she said, pushing pasta around her plate. Like cream or ivory. Something softer. Sarah's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. We already booked the flowers in blush pink. Lily's face fell. Oh, I did not realize it was finalized. We talked about this 3 months ago, Sarah said, her voice tighter than usual. The florist needs advance notice. Blush pink is beautiful. Everyone loves it. Right? Lily forced a smile. That is fine. Blush pink is great. The conversation moved on, but I saw the look on Lily's face. Disappointment. Maybe something deeper. I should have said something then. I should have pulled Sarah aside later and asked if maybe we could check with the florist about changes. But I did not. I told myself Lily was just having cold feet about decisions, that this was normal wedding stress. Month 5 brought another moment I should have paid attention to. Lily called Sarah about adding vegetarian options to the menu. Several of her friends did not eat meat, and she wanted to make sure they had real meal choices, not just side dishes. I was in the kitchen when Sarah took the call. I could only hear her side of the conversation, but her tone was clipped professional, in that way that meant she was annoyed. The caterer already confirmed the menu, Lily. Making changes now means additional fees. Your friends can eat the sides. There is plenty of food. When she hung up, I asked if everything was okay. Fine, Sarah said, typing something into her phone. Your sister just does not understand how these things work. You cannot change everything last minute. Is it really last minute? We still have 4 months. In the event planning world, that is last minute. She looked up at me, her expression softening. I know what I am doing, Reed. Trust me. So I did. I trusted her. When Lily called me the next day sounding upset about the menu, I defended Sarah. She is doing this for free, I reminded my sister. She knows the industry. We are lucky to have her help. Lily went quiet on the other end of the line. You are right, she finally said. I am being ungrateful. After she hung up, I felt uneasy, but I pushed it down. Sarah was working so hard. She was doing Lily a huge favor. My sister just needed to be more flexible. 2 weeks before the wedding, Lily called me at work. Her voice sounded strange, tight, and controlled, like she was trying not to cry. Did you know Sarah booked a photographer? Well, yeah. She is handling all the vendors. I have never met this person, Reed. I do not even know what their style is. I wanted to use the photographer my friend Emma recommended, but Sarah said it was too late to change. I rubbed my forehead, feeling a headache starting. She probably got someone good. She works with photographers all the time. This is my wedding. Lily's voice cracked. Should I not at least meet the person who is going to document the most important day of my life? I felt trapped between them. Look, I get it. But Sarah has been working herself to death on this. She knows what she is doing. Just trust her, okay? The silence stretched so long, I thought the call had dropped. Okay, Lily finally whispered. You are right. I am sorry. When she hung up, I sat there staring at my desk, that uneasy feeling growing stronger. But I had a meeting in 10 minutes and a deadline that afternoon. I told myself I would check in with both of them later, make sure everyone was on the same page. I never did. 1 week before the wedding, Sarah barely slept. She would come to bed at 2 in the morning and be up again at 6, her phone in her hand, texting vendors and confirming details. I watched her work herself into exhaustion and felt helpless. Maybe you should take a break, I suggested one night as she sat in bed with her laptop eyes bloodshot. I cannot, she said without looking up. I need this to be perfect. It will be perfect. You have done an amazing job. She finally looked at me then, and there was something desperate in her eyes. It has to be flawless, Reed. Do you understand? It has to be. I did not understand, not really, but I nodded anyway. After the wedding, I told myself things would go back to normal. I had no idea how wrong I was. 3 days before the wedding, I was at my desk reviewing a proposal when my phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "Reed, I need to talk to you. It is about Sarah." My chest tightened. I immediately called her back. She answered on the first ring. "What is wrong?" Her voice shook. I told her she is not welcome at the wedding anymore. The words did not make sense at first. What? Why would you do that? She has been controlling everything. Lily's words came faster now, tumbling over each other. "This is not my wedding anymore, Reed. It is hers. Everything is what she wants, what she thinks is best. I do not even recognize it." Lily, slow down. "What happened?" She yelled at me. Her voice broke completely. "Last night I called her about the centerpieces. Marcus and I wanted something simpler, just candles and greenery, instead of those huge arrangements she picked. And she lost it." I could hear her crying now, trying to talk through it. She told me, "I have spent 6 months on this, and you cannot just change things last minute." So I told her it is my wedding, and I should have a say in what is on my own tables. And you know what she said? I was gripping my phone so hard, my knuckles were white. She said I had a say. I just never cared enough to be involved. Like this whole time I have been lazy or ungrateful. Marcus heard the whole thing and got on the phone to defend me. And Sarah just hung up on us. I cried all night, Reed. This morning I decided, she cannot come to the wedding. My brain could not process this. Sarah and Lily, the two people I loved most, at war with each other. This cannot be happening. It is happening. Lily's voice was steadier, now resolved. "I am sorry she is your wife. I love you. But I cannot have her there. Not after last night. Not after 6 months of being made to feel like a guest at my own wedding." I sat there in my cubicle, surrounded by coworkers, typing and taking calls, feeling my world crack open. "Let me talk to her," I finally said. "Let me figure this out." There is nothing to figure out. The decision is made. After we hung up, I immediately called Sarah. She answered, and I could tell she had been crying too. "Lily told me," I said. "Of course she did." Sarah's voice was bitter. "Did she tell you what she said to me? How ungrateful she has been, Sarah. You yelled at her about centerpieces because she does not appreciate anything I have done." Her voice rose. "I have given up my weekends, my sleep, my own clients for this wedding. I have put my heart and soul into making it perfect. And she treats me like some hired help she can just order around. She is the bride, and I am the person who has been doing everything." The silence crackled between us. If you do not back me up on this, Reed, what does that say about our marriage? There it was. The ultimatum. Choose me or choose her. I am not choosing sides, I said, but even as I said it, I knew it was a lie. By not immediately defending Sarah, I had already chosen. She could hear it too. "Call me when you decide whose side you are on," she said, and hung up. I sat there feeling sick. I needed perspective. I called my parents. Mom answered, and I could hear Dad in the background asking who it was. When I told her what happened, she sighed in a way that made my stomach drop further. "I saw this coming, honey." "What do you mean your sister has been trying to talk to Sarah about decisions for months, Reed?" "Sarah keeps dismissing her, telling her to trust the professional. Lily feels like a guest at her own wedding. Why did nobody tell me we did not want to worry you? And Lily kept saying Sarah was doing her a favor, that she should just be grateful. But a few weeks ago, she broke down crying to me. Said she did not even recognize the wedding Sarah had planned. It did not feel like her and Marcus at all. Dad took the phone then. "Your sister has been miserable, son. Sarah means well, but she took over. Completely." After I hung up, I sat in my car in the parking lot for an hour just thinking, how had I missed this? How had I been so blind? That night when I got home, Sarah was waiting. She had printed out spreadsheets, emails, vendor confirmations. She laid them all out on the coffee table like evidence in a trial. Look at this. She pointed at the documents. Hundreds of emails, dozens of phone calls, site visits, tastings, fittings. I did all of it. And this is how she thanks me. I sat down across from her. Maybe you were trying too hard to make it perfect. So it is my fault for caring. It is not about fault. I tried to keep my voice gentle, but Lily is the bride. Did you ask her what she wanted, or did you just tell her what you had decided? Sarah's jaw tightened. She was busy. Someone had to make decisions. But they were not your decisions to make. The words came out harder than I meant them to. It is her wedding, Sarah, not yours. She stared at me like I had slapped her. I cannot believe you are taking her side. I am not taking sides. I am trying to understand how we got here. We got here because your sister is ungrateful and immature. She wanted me to plan her wedding and then criticized every choice I made. Did she criticize? Or did she try to have input? Sarah stood up, gathering her papers. If you cannot support me on this, I do not know what to say. I stood too. Sarah, I love you. But you need to hear this. You steamrolled her. You took her wedding and made it yours. The look on her face was pure hurt, mixed with rage. If you do not convince Lily to let me come to that wedding, I do not know if I can forgive this. I felt something break inside me. I cannot force her. It is her day. Then choose Reed, me or her. That night I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, wondering how I had become the mediator in a war I did not even know was happening. The next morning I texted Lily. Can we meet for coffee? Just you and me. 2 days before the wedding, I met Lily at the coffee shop near her apartment. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy bun. We found a quiet corner booth and sat down. Tell me everything I said. From the beginning, everything I do not know. She took a shaky breath and started talking. Month 2. Sarah booked the venue without showing it to me first. Just sent me a text saying she found the perfect place and put down the deposit. When I finally got to see it, it was this massive hotel ballroom, all marble and chandeliers and formal. I wanted a garden wedding, something intimate and natural. When I told her, she said the deposit was non-refundable. We were locked in. I felt my chest tighten. Month 4. She scheduled dress appointments at this boutique she works with. Every dress she pulled was strapless, fitted, super formal. That is not my style. You know I am more bohemian. But she kept saying, trust me, this is what photographs well. I ended up picking a dress that made her happy because I was too tired to fight. Why did you not tell me? She looked down at her coffee. Because you kept saying she was doing us a favor, that she knew what she was doing. And Marcus said the same thing. We convinced ourselves we were being difficult. What else? Month 5. The invitations. She designed them and sent them to print before showing me the final version. When I got the sample in the mail, they were so formal and traditional. Thick cardstock, gold lettering, super conventional wording. Marcus and I wanted something more personal, something that felt like us. But they were already printed. 200 invitations that did not represent us at all. My hands were clenched under the table. The playlist. That was the final straw. 3 days ago, the DJ called me to confirm. He read off the songs Sarah had given him. Classic wedding music. Top 40 hits. Not a single song Marcus and I had requested. Not our first dance song. Not the songs that mean something to us. When I called her, she said my taste was too niche. That she knows what works at weddings. I could see the pain in Lily's eyes. This was supposed to be the happiest time of my life, and I have cried more in the last 6 months than I have in years. Every time I tried to speak up, I got shut down. And you, my big brother, who always protected me, you told me to trust her, to be grateful. I felt so alone. I reached across the table and took her hand. I am so sorry. I should have listened. I should have seen it. She squeezed my hand, tears running down her face. What is the plan now? I asked. She pulled her hand back to wipe her eyes. We contacted all the vendors, explained what happened. Some of them have been amazing. The florist agreed to work with me directly, do simpler arrangements. The DJ is using our playlist. The caterer added the vegetarian options I wanted. But some vendors have contracts with Sarah. They would not budge. So the wedding will be simpler, smaller, but it will be ours. And you are okay with that. For the first time, she smiled. I would rather have a simple wedding that feels like me and Marcus than a perfect wedding that feels like someone else's vision. I drove home that afternoon, feeling like I was carrying concrete in my chest. Sarah was right that she had worked hard. She had poured herself into this wedding, but she had also erased Lily in the process, turned it into her project instead of my sister's celebration. When I walked in, Sarah was on the couch, laptop open, still working, even though she had been uninvited. We need to talk, I said, sitting down next to her. She closed the laptop slowly. Okay. I told her everything Lily had said. The venue, the dress, the invitations, the playlist, all the ways Lily had tried to have a voice and been shut down. Sarah listened, her face getting tighter and tighter. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. I thought I was helping, she finally said. I know you did. But helping means listening, not controlling. She looked down at her hands. I got too invested. I wanted it to be perfect so everyone would be proud of me. This was the first time I planned a wedding for family. I wanted to prove I could do it. Somewhere along the way, you forgot it was not your wedding. She nodded, and I saw tears on her cheeks. I know. I see that now. The wedding is in 2 days. Lily said you are not welcome. I think you need to respect that. The words clearly hurt, but Sarah nodded. Okay. But after the wedding, we all need to sit down and talk. This cannot be the end of your relationship with my sister. Do you think she will ever forgive me? I do not know. But I hope so. That night we both lay in bed awake, not touching, both of us, carrying the weight of what had broken. The day before the wedding, I met Lily, Marcus, and a handful of their friends at the venue. It was time to undo what Sarah had created and rebuild something that belonged to them. The venue looked exactly like Sarah's vision. Elaborate centerpieces with towering arrangements of blush pink roses and hydrangeas, gold charger plates, and crystal stemware, formal place cards and calligraphy. Everything was technically beautiful, professionally executed, and completely wrong for Lily and Marcus. We spent 6 hours that day transforming it. We removed the huge centerpieces and replaced them with simple mason jars filled with wildflowers. Daisies, lavender, baby's breath. We switched out the gold and crystal for mismatched vintage plates and regular glassware that Lily had collected from thrift stores. We took down the formal drapery, and string lights went up instead. The place cards got replaced with handwritten tags that Lily and Marcus did themselves the night before. As we worked, I kept seeing the effort Sarah had put into her choices. Everything she selected was high quality, carefully coordinated, the kind of setup you would see in wedding magazines. But as we replaced each element with something simpler, I watched the venue start to breathe, start to feel like Lily. Around 4 in the afternoon, my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. How does it look? I stood there looking around at what we had created. Half of me wanted to protect her from seeing what we had done to her work. The other half thought she needed to see it. I took a photo. The venue mid-transformation, mason jars next to removed crystal. String lights being hung where silk draping had been. I sent it without a caption. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. No response came. We finished around 8 that night. Lily stood in the middle of the venue, turning slowly to take it all in. She had dirt on her jeans from arranging flowers, and her hair was a mess, but she was smiling. "This is it," she said. "This is what I wanted." Marcus came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. "It is perfect." I felt my throat get tight watching them. This was what love looked like. Two people creating something together that reflected who they actually were, not who someone else thought they should be. The wedding day was warm and clear. The ceremony was outside in the venue's garden, exactly what Lily had originally wanted. Chairs arranged in a semicircle around an arch Marcus had built himself, covered in the same wildflowers from the centerpieces. I stood next to Marcus as his best man, watching Lily walk down the aisle with Dad. She was wearing the dress she had picked for herself after Sarah was uninvited, a flowing bohemian style with lace sleeves that was so perfectly her it hurt. Her face was radiant. The ceremony was personal and emotional. They wrote their own vows. Marcus cried. Half